Success is not about the loud moments, the big wins, or the applause you get. It's often about the quiet, unseen battles you fight every day. Many people look at success as a destination, but the truth is, it's a journey shaped by what you do consistently, and what you fail to notice can silently destroy your potential. Today, I want to expose the 5 silent enemies that are quietly stopping you from becoming the person you're meant to be. And the scary part, you may not even see them. Enemy 1. Fear of small failures. We celebrate the big victories, but fear the small failures. Every time you avoid a small risk, you deny yourself growth. Success is not the absence of failure. It's the ability to rise each time you fall. Don't let fear of small failures stop you from taking the next step. Enemy 2. Comfort over growth. Comfort is a silent killer of ambition. When your life becomes predictable, your potential stagnates. Growth rarely happens in comfort zones. If you're coasting, you're quietly falling behind. Challenge yourself daily, even in small ways, because growth is cumulative. Enemy 3. Negative self. The words you say to yourself are louder than anyone else's. Every time you say, "I can't," or "this is too hard," you're reinforcing limitations. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. Speak to yourself like a mentor would, not a critic. Enemy 4. Inconsistent habits. Success is built in the small, daily decisions. Skipping one habit may seem insignificant, but repeated inconsistency is like dripping water that eventually hollows stone. Discipline and consistency are invisible enemies that can become your greatest allies if mastered. Enemy 5. Waiting for permission. Many people wait to be told they're ready, waiting for approval, waiting for the perfect moment. Life rarely hands out permission slips. The people who succeed are those who act first and figure it out along the way. Here's the truth. These enemies are silent, but they are not undefeatable. Awareness is your first weapon. Action is your second. The moment you see them, acknowledge them and face them. You take control of your success journey. Your life will only expand to the size of your courage, your discipline, and your self-awareness. Today, ask yourself, which silent enemy have I been letting run my life? And more importantly, how am I going to fight back starting now? Success isn't about luck, timing, or talent. It's about seeing the invisible forces holding you back and deliberately choosing to rise above them. Don't let these silent enemies define you. Let them ignite you. Fear of small failures is one of the most subtle, yet powerful, enemies standing between you and the life you want to live. We often think of failure as a big, dramatic event, losing a job, failing an exam, or missing a huge opportunity. But in reality, it is the small, almost invisible failures that shape our path more than anything else. Every time you hesitate to take a step forward because you're afraid of making a mistake, you are quietly telling yourself that staying safe is more important than growing. And the truth is, life rewards the bold, not the cautious. The small risks we avoid are not trivial. They are the building blocks of growth, learning, and eventual success. Every time you attempt something new, even if it doesn't go perfectly, you gain something far more valuable than success itself: experience, insight, and resilience. The fear of small failures keeps you frozen in place, creating an illusion of safety while silently robbing you of opportunity. You may not even notice it, because avoiding minor risks feels comfortable in the moment, but over time, that comfort becomes stagnation. Real growth happens outside of comfort zones, in those moments when you feel unsure, uncomfortable, or even a little afraid. Each small failure is a lesson disguised as disappointment, a chance to understand your limits, test your assumptions, and refine your approach. The person who embraces these small failures approaches life differently. They see setbacks not as judgments on their worth, but as signals to adapt, learn, and try again. They understand that failure is not a reflection of incompetence, but a natural, inevitable part of any meaningful journey. This mindset transforms fear into fuel. Every misstep becomes data, every rejection becomes a lesson, and every awkward attempt becomes a rehearsal for future success. The courage to take small risks compounds over time. It creates momentum. It builds confidence in ways that comfort and safety never can. The individual who constantly avoids risk may appear secure, but in truth they are limiting themselves, caging their potential behind imagined barriers. On the other hand, those who embrace failure, even in small doses, are quietly constructing resilience, creativity, and a problem-solving mindset that will serve them for life. It is not about seeking failure for its own sake, but about daring to move forward even when outcomes are uncertain. The small failures are not the enemy. Fear is the enemy. Each time you let fear dictate your actions, you give power to stagnation. Each time you take a step, no matter how small, in the face of uncertainty, you reclaim your growth and strengthen your trajectory toward success. In the end, it is the accumulation of these small, courageous steps, these tiny failures that were faced and learned from, that shapes the person who achieves remarkable things. Growth is not reserved for the fearless. It belongs to those willing to risk, to stumble, and to rise again over and over, until failure becomes simply part of the process of becoming. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you that everything is fine the way it is, that staying where you are is safe, and that growth can wait for another day. The truth is, comfort zones are the silent killers of ambition. They give you the illusion of progress while quietly shrinking your potential. When you settle into routine, when every day looks the same, you may feel secure, but security comes at a cost. It is the cost of stagnation, the slow erosion of your ability to take risks, innovate, and rise to challenges that matter. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you make a decision that limits your future possibilities. Growth, learning, and greatness never happen within the walls of familiarity. They happen in the tension between what you know and what you are willing to explore, in the space where you feel uncertainty and even fear. To expand your potential, you must challenge yourself consistently. This is not about taking reckless risks or throwing yourself into chaos. It is about deliberately pushing the boundaries of what you think is possible, testing your limits, and embracing discomfort as a teacher rather than a threat. Every small act of challenge, speaking up when it's easier to stay silent, taking on a project that feels beyond your abilities, or trying something new outside of your routine, is a step out of the comfort zone and a step toward growth. The person who thrives does not wait for circumstances to force them into discomfort. They seek it out. They understand that every moment of unease is an opportunity to strengthen their mind, sharpen their skills, and increase their capacity for success. Comfort may feel safe, but safety breeds complacency. Complacency whispers that good enough is enough, and over time, good enough is what keeps dreams unfulfilled and potential untapped. To live a life of purpose, to achieve goals that truly matter, you must resist the pull of ease and convenience. You must challenge yourself daily, not occasionally. Consistency in pushing your boundaries compounds over time. It trains your mind to embrace growth, your heart to endure setbacks, and your spirit to persist even when the path is difficult. The more you stretch yourself, the more your potential expands, and the more opportunities appear that would have been invisible while you were confined to comfort. Ambition is not a gift, it is cultivated. It grows when you refuse to settle, when you reject the quiet lull of safety, and when you commit to becoming slightly better, slightly braver, and slightly more capable each day. Your comfort zone may feel like a sanctuary, but it is also a cage. The key to unlocking your potential is to step beyond it again and again, to embrace challenges as invitations, and to make discomfort the companion of your journey rather than its enemy. Only when you consistently push past the familiar can you discover the strength, resilience, and capability that you never knew existed inside you, and only then can your ambition truly come alive. The words you say to yourself have more power over your life than any external circumstance. Negative self-talk is one of the most silent, destructive enemies of success because it operates quietly in the background, shaping your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your reality. Every time you tell yourself, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "this is too hard," you are planting seeds of limitation in your mind. These words may feel harmless in the moment, almost automatic, but over time they define what you believe is possible for yourself. The mind does not distinguish between reality and the story you tell yourself. If you constantly repeat a narrative of doubt, fear, or inadequacy, you begin to act in ways that reinforce that narrative, and opportunities that could have propelled you forward slip quietly through your hands. The good news is that the power of self-talk is not fixed. Just as negative patterns can build barriers, empowering language can open doors. Reframing your internal dialogue is not about ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing to speak to yourself in a way that encourages growth, resilience, and possibility. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try saying, "This is difficult, but I can learn and improve." Instead of "I'm not ready," try, "I may not be perfect, but I am capable of starting and learning as I go." These small shifts in language may feel insignificant, but they create ripples in your thinking, your emotions, and your behavior. Empowering self-talk fuels confidence. It gives you the courage to take risks, the patience to endure setbacks, and the clarity to see opportunities that would have been invisible under a cloud of doubt. Every successful person has faced moments of uncertainty and fear, but what sets them apart is the way they speak to themselves in those moments. They don't allow negativity to dictate their path. They replace judgment with curiosity, doubt with strategy, and fear with action. Your internal dialogue is like a script, and you are both the writer and the performer. If the script is filled with limitations, your performance in life will reflect that. But if you consciously rewrite your inner script with words that empower, inspire, and encourage, your actions will align with growth, achievement, and success. Reframing self-talk is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a daily habit of noticing the thoughts that arise and choosing to respond to them with intention. The more consistently you practice, the more your mind begins to default to constructive, uplifting language, and the more your potential unfolds. Negative self-talk does not just limit success. It diminishes your confidence, drains your energy, and blinds you to possibilities. Reframing it transforms these silent limitations into stepping stones. By deliberately choosing words that uplift rather than restrict, you train yourself to see challenges as opportunities, mistakes as lessons, and potential as limitless. Your internal dialogue is not just a reflection of your mind, it is the foundation of your success. By changing the conversation within, you begin to change the trajectory of your life, creating the conditions for achievement, resilience, and fulfillment in ways that fear and doubt could never allow. Success is rarely the result of a single dramatic effort. More often, it is the product of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Inconsistent habits are one of the most silent enemies of progress because they create the illusion of effort without producing meaningful results. You may work hard on a project one day, skip it the next, and tell yourself that you're trying, but the truth is that inconsistency slowly erodes momentum. Every time you abandon a habit, even temporarily, you weaken the structure of discipline that builds lasting success. Discipline is not a rigid, punitive concept. It is the commitment to show up for yourself, to honor your goals, and to take deliberate action day after day, even when motivation is low. The power of consistent habits is compounding. Just as small deposits in a bank account grow exponentially over time, consistent actions accumulate into remarkable results. Skipping a day may seem insignificant, but when repeated over weeks, months, and years, those gaps create an invisible barrier between where you are and where you want to be. People often overestimate what they can achieve in a short burst of effort, but underestimate what they can accomplish through steady, persistent action. Inconsistent habits are a betrayal of potential because they stop you from experiencing the exponential growth that comes from repetition. Developing consistent habits is not about perfection. It's about showing up, making the effort, and building reliability into your own character. It is choosing to take small steps, even when the results are not immediately visible, trusting that over time, the compounded effect will be transformative. Consistency also builds confidence. When you know that you are committed to your habits, even on difficult days, you create a foundation of trust in yourself. This trust fuels resilience, allowing you to navigate challenges without abandoning the actions that will ultimately lead to success. Discipline, like a muscle, strengthens with practice. Each day that you honor your commitments, even in small ways, reinforces the habit, making it easier to continue and harder to break. Inconsistent habits, on the other hand, weaken your resolve, make you doubt your capabilities, and erode your confidence. The reality is that talent, luck, and inspiration alone are not enough. They are fleeting and unreliable. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who do not is the ability to consistently do what others are unwilling to do over the long term. Daily discipline is invisible in the short term, but it is unstoppable in the long term. It transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes, small choices into monumental achievements. By committing to your habits consistently, you create a structure that carries you forward, even when motivation fades, obstacles arise, or doubt creeps in. Inconsistent habits do not just delay success, they prevent it. Consistent daily actions are the bridge between ambition and achievement. They turn dreams into reality, potential into performance, and intention into accomplishment. Every day is an opportunity to reinforce that bridge, to strengthen your habits, and to compound your efforts into results that will define your life. Discipline is not a limitation. It is the engine of progress, and consistency is its fuel. One of the most overlooked enemies of success is the habit of waiting for permission. So many people wait, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for approval, waiting for someone else to give them the green light to pursue their dreams. They believe that success requires external validation, that they must be told they are ready before they take action. The truth is that life rarely hands out permission slips. Waiting for someone else to decide when or how you should move forward is a guarantee that progress will be slow, if it happens at all. Action, not approval, is the currency of achievement. Every opportunity that slips by while you wait is a lesson in the cost of hesitation. Successful people understand this instinctively. They do not wait for perfect conditions, flawless timing, or external validation. They act, they begin. They take initiative even when uncertainty looms, because they know that momentum is built by movement, not contemplation. Waiting for permission creates a false sense of security. It allows fear to masquerade as prudence. We convince ourselves that we are being careful or responsible, when in reality we are avoiding risk because it feels uncomfortable. Yet the very people who achieve greatness are the ones who embrace discomfort, who understand that mistakes, failures, and setbacks are inevitable but far less damaging than the regret of inaction. Taking initiative is not about reckless impulsivity. It is about deciding that your vision, your goals, and your potential matter more than waiting for someone else to validate them. It is about acknowledging that action itself is the teacher, that experience is the proof, and that confidence is built through doing, not waiting. Every time you take action without waiting for approval, you strengthen your decision making, your courage, and your ability to navigate uncertainty. You also create opportunities that would have been invisible from the sidelines. Waiting for permission narrows your possibilities, taking initiative expands them. Action takers discover solutions, develop resilience, and attract opportunities in ways that those who wait never will. The path to success is rarely linear or guaranteed. It is filled with unknowns, risks, and moments of doubt. Yet those who act despite these uncertainties build a trajectory that is unstoppable because they are moving while others are still contemplating. Waiting for someone else to give you permission is a form of surrender. Taking initiative is a form of empowerment. Every decision to act, no matter how small, signals to yourself and to the world that you are ready to claim your potential. Momentum grows from action, and the longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to start. The paradox is that readiness comes through action, not before it. You learn what you are capable of by stepping into the arena, by making choices, and by responding to the consequences with curiosity and courage. Success does not favor those who wait, it favors those who do. It favors those who see opportunity, take responsibility, and act decisively. By refusing to wait for permission, you reclaim control of your life, accelerate your growth, and position yourself to achieve things that hesitation could never allow. Initiative is the bridge between ambition and achievement, and the moment you step onto it is the moment your potential begins to unfold. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. You cannot overcome what you cannot see, and many of the obstacles that hold you back are hidden, operating quietly beneath the surface of your daily life. Silent enemies such as fear, comfort, negative self-talk, inconsistency, and waiting for permission are effective because they are invisible until you pay attention. They shape your decisions, influence your behaviors, and dictate the trajectory of your life without you even realizing it. This is why self-awareness is so crucial. Awareness allows you to recognize these hidden forces, to see the patterns that limit you, and to understand the moments when you are unconsciously sabotaging your own progress. But awareness alone is not enough. Knowing what holds you back without taking action is like standing at the edge of a river and wishing you could cross without stepping into the water. Action is the bridge between recognition and transformation. Once you identify the silent enemies, you must confront them deliberately, consistently, and with courage. It is not enough to simply acknowledge them. You must take concrete steps to dismantle their power over you. For example, awareness may reveal that fear of small failures is preventing you from starting a new project. Action is deciding to take that first step anyway, even if it is imperfect, even if you feel uncertain. Awareness may expose that negative self-talk is undermining your confidence. Action is consciously reframing your inner dialogue, speaking to yourself with encouragement and belief, and reinforcing a narrative of capability and growth. The combination of awareness and action creates freedom because it removes the unconscious control these silent enemies have over your life. When you act deliberately against the forces that limit you, you reclaim your power, your choices, and your future. This process requires honesty, reflection, and courage. It demands that you face uncomfortable truths about your habits, your mindset, and your behaviors, and then take responsibility to change them. Awareness illuminates the problem, action solves it. Without awareness, action can be misguided, unfocused, or ineffective. Without action, awareness is impotent, leaving you stuck in observation without transformation. The most successful people in the world have mastered this equation, not by avoiding challenges, but by confronting them head-on, by noticing what holds them back, and by deliberately choosing actions that align with their goal. Every silent enemy you identify and confront strengthens your resilience, sharpens your focus, and increases your ability to achieve what once seemed impossible. Awareness plus action is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice, a commitment to self-examination and continuous improvement. It is a way of living intentionally, refusing to allow hidden limitations to dictate your outcomes. By cultivating this habit, you create a life where you are not a passive observer of circumstances, but an active architect of your destiny. Freedom from silent enemies is not granted. It is earned through the deliberate combination of seeing clearly and acting decisively every single day, until the forces that once held you back are no longer stronger than your courage and commitment. Remember, success is not determined by luck, talent, or the circumstances around you. It is determined by your awareness, your choices, and your willingness to act in the face of fear, doubt, and comfort. The silent enemies we've discussed, fear of small failures, comfort zones, negative self-talk, inconsistent habits, waiting for permission, and hidden obstacles, are not undefeatable. They only have power over you if you allow them to. The moment you see them clearly, the moment you confront them deliberately with courage, the moment you take consistent action despite uncertainty, you reclaim control of your life. Growth, achievement, and fulfillment do not happen by accident. They happen because you decide to rise above the invisible forces that hold others back. Today, Choose to take that step. Today, choose to speak to yourself with empowerment. Today, choose discipline over inconsistency, courage over waiting, and action over hesitation. Your potential is limitless, but only if you refuse to let silent enemies dictate your path. The life you dream of is waiting for you, and it begins the moment you decide to confront what stands in your way and move forward with clarity, courage, and conviction. Go forward boldly, because the world rewards those who act, persist, and refuse to be quietly stopped. Your journey to success is in your hands. Embrace it, fight for it, and let nothing, silent or otherwise, hold you back.